Hi guys, welcome to another episode of What's My Drinking with Andrew Azzopardi. Today I've got a San Leonardo from the producers Tenuta San Leonardo. This is a 2007 vintage, so it's a 13-year-old wine. And I'm super impressed with this wine. It's a great value wine. I bought it a couple of years ago at around 50 euros. And in my opinion, I think the value is way more than that. And maybe, is this the new value Bordeaux wine not from Bordeaux? So it's a wine from Italy, from a place called Trentino, which is just on the border of the Dolomites with Alto Adige just to the north and Lake Garda to the south of it. Probably the most notable producers in the area are Cantina Ferrari, where they make some spectacular sparkling wines. So what's really interesting about this wine is that it's a typical Bordeaux styled wine using Bordeaux international grapes, Bordeaux grapes. So it's a very long standing vineyard. It's not very new. However, it actually became popular and became a force to be reckoned with, when Marchese Carlo Guerrieri Gonzaga, what a mouthful, actually married into the vineyard, and he was in love with Bordeaux and anything Bordeaux related. So obviously he wanted to make a Bordeaux styled wine. Before that, they used to make more Riesling type of wines, which is more common in Alto Adige than these type of wines. So Marchese Carlo actually studied in Lausanne, and he often used to visit Bordeaux to see how they make wine and how they grow Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot and Cabernet Franc, which are the three international varieties that people use in Bordeaux. And eventually he met one of the most famous winemakers around, Mario Incisa della Rocchetta, who we all know is the producer of the extremely famous 100 Point Parker Sassicaia wine. And Mario actually gave Marchese Carlo secrets on how to make Bordeaux blends. Furthermore, eventually Carlo then asked the legendary consultant Giacomo Takis, who used to work with Antinori and was one of the founders behind Tignanello, to help him and consult him on making this San Leonardo. So, it's some of the top people have influenced Carlo in making this fantastic wine. But there is something that is extremely interesting and extremely cool about this wine. Back in time, when they were importing the grape varieties from France, there was a mistake. And instead of importing Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot and Cabernet Franc, they imported Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot and Carmenere, which is actually a grape that used to be very popular in Bordeaux and kind of fizzled out. And instead of the Cabernet Franc, they were given Carmenere. Originally they didn't know, and then they planted the vines, and eventually they got to know that, listen, we are using Carmenere and not Cabernet Franc. And Marchese Carlo learned how to incorporate this grape into his blend to make the fantastic wine that it is now. And it's so fantastic that Jancis Robinson, one of the most famous wine critics to date, says this is probably the most successful Bordeaux blend from northern Italy. She goes on to say that this is one of those wines, like Sassicaia, that never changed its ways. So from when Carlo inherited or took over the vineyard in 1974, and he produced his first bottle of wine in 1982, till today, I think they're producing now the 2016 vintage, the wine stylistically hasn't changed. It's remained refreshing and extremely elegant. And many wines are along the years change their style. So if the fad used to be till a couple of years ago to have rich, powerful wine, so if you like the typical Napa Cabs or the Australian Shiraz type of wine, then he never went down that route. He never went down the super powerful route. He kept it very fresh. The alcohol percentage is 13%, which is not too high, and you can already tell that it's a rather lightish wine. I think the most alcoholic wine these guys have made has gone to around 13.5% only. So the guys went down the refreshing, light, elegant route, and I've already tried this wine. I couldn't help myself, and I think it's extremely elegant. So the color, it shows it has age on it, but it's still there. Quite a bright color actually, considering the age. On the nose, it's got so much going on. Spices, fruit. I get cherry, I get a bit of sweet spice, a little bit of pepper. Definitely blackberry. So much going on over there. That's really, really great. That, in my opinion, this can compete with some of the top Grand Cru classes from Bordeaux. Extremely well integrated, extremely elegant. It's got that lovely wet tobacco cigar box flavors to it, well integrated with the cherry and the fruit. It really is fantastic. And a steal at only 50-60 euros a bottle when you compare to Bordeaux wines. It really is a great value wine, if you want to call it value wine. I mean, for the quality, price, value, it's unbelievable. I just had it for lunch with T-bone steak, and it was a dream. It was really, really beautiful, married so well with the thyme and the rosemary on the meat. What a super wine. So well integrated, the tannins, so smooth, so elegant. Honestly, if I had to have this in a blind tasting, I'm pretty sure I would have been thrown off course and thought it was probably from Bordeaux, and I would have been extremely surprised learning that it was an Italian, northern Italian wine. Of course, it's IGT because they don't use indigenous Italian grapes, so it's the lowest category of wines, basically table wine, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good wine. It's actually a fantastic wine. Next time we discuss Super Tuscans, I'll explain a little bit on the IGT, DOC, DOCG turmoil and how they came about. But in the meantime, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can look up our business website, www.number12wines.com, or my personal website, www.andrewazzopardi.net. Cheers!